Okay, so today I'm going over the color writing for Beowulf section 5. So make sure you have your color writing handout. It says Beowulf summary number 5 in the top right hand corner. Make sure your name is on it and your class period is on it as well. This goes with the part of the book that is page 62 to page 65, so you're supposed to summarize those pages. You should have already watched the video of me going through the reading and answering the study questions for these pages. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that first before you can do the writing. Okay, and just as a reminder, this is for example use only. You are not supposed to copy my answers down and turn it in for yourself. You can use this to help you, to show you how to do it, but you need to come up with your own original sentence for each of these boxes. So again, this is just an example. Do not turn this in as your answer. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do with any writing is look at your question, look at your prompt. So if you look up here at the top, here's your question. This is what am I being asked? So what am I asking you to do? I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So what I'm asking you to do is right here, summarize what happened in this section of Beowulf. That's what I'm asking you to do. So basically what I'm saying is what happened in this part of the story. That's what I'm asking you. That's the question. What happened in this part of the story? So that's what I want you to answer. Now notice it says use text evidence. Let me move this over. It says use text evidence to support your summary. So what that means is that we need proof of your answer. So we need proof of your answer, and we'll come back to this in a minute, okay? So there's two different things that you're supposed to be doing for your question. What happened in this part of the story, and then give me proof of that answer. So we're moving on. So we're going to go to the blue now. This is blue. This is your topic sentence or your answer to the question. So this is going to answer the question right up here that we just went over. So this is going to answer what happened in this part of the story. So we're going to start it off by saying in this part of the story, comma. So now we got to find something that happened in this section of the story. Now there's many things that happened within these pages. You can feel free to write about whatever you want to write about. Again, do not use mine as yours. So here's what I decided to say. In this part of the story, Beowulf, I'm just going to write it and then I'll turn the page so you can see it. So Beowulf is 50 years older and takes on the challenge of fighting a fire-breathing dragon. And then a period at the end. Okay, so there you go. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. So there you go. So this is my answer to the question, what happened in the story, in this part of the story. So what happened in this part of the story? In this part of the story, Beowulf is 50 years older and takes on the challenge of fighting a fire-breathing dragon. Now, again, you cannot use that for yourself. So if you do not know what happened in this section of the reading, then obviously you need to go back and watch the video about the reading for this section, because you cannot do the writing without doing the reading first, okay? All right, so we've answered half of our question up here. So remember, this question had two parts. It says what happened in this part of the story, and then proof of your answer. So we have to do our proof now. So that is your red. Now you don't have to draw these arrows everywhere. I'm just doing this visually so you can see this if you still don't understand how to do it. So your proof of your answer goes down here. That is your red. That is your proof. That is your quote. Okay? So you have to have proof of this answer. So I have to find proof that Beowulf is 50 years older and takes on the challenge of fighting a fire-breathing dragon. So that means I have to go in here in my book somewhere, and I have to find some words that show that Beowulf is 50 years older and he takes on the challenge of fighting a fire-breathing dragon. So I decided to use this quote right here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Again, please do not write in my books or highlight in my books that you're using. I'm just doing this because this is my copy. So I've decided to use this quote right here where it says, "Then Beowulf rose." I'm going to highlight it just so that you can see it. But again, please do not write in my book. I'm sorry it's a little blurry. I've tried to adjust the focus, but it's not working. So that's as clear as I can get it. So this is the quote that I'm going to use. This is my proof right here. This is my proof of this answer that I just wrote down. Okay, so now I have to write those words right there. I have to write those words word for word. I have to copy it down. All right, so before I copy it down, I have to put quotation marks to show that I'm copying those words. So I'm going to write it exactly how it is in the book. Then Beowulf rose, still brave, still strong. Now, at the end of my quote, I have to have quotation marks to show that it's the end and I'm done copying. And then we have to have a period. I have to see those periods, and there's a period at the end of the blue sentence at the top here. So make sure I can see those periods and make sure you have those quotation marks. So there's my proof of my answer. Okay, now I have to go down here to my green and I have to explain this quote. So I'm going to explain this quote. I'm going to say why it's important, why I picked it. So I'm going to explain it. So I'm going to say, again, I'm going to write it and then I'll turn my paper so you can see it. Okay, so my explanation of this quote: Beowulf is 50 years older, but still the same brave warrior he has always been. Okay, so there you go. Beowulf is 50 years older, but still the same brave warrior he's always been. So I'm explaining this quote. Why is he still brave? Why is he still strong? Because he's 50 years older, and obviously he's older, but he's still the same brave warrior that he's always been, even though he's 50 years older. All right, then we're going to come down here to our next box, and this is explaining again. So we have to explain this quote again. So I'm going to try to draw this arrow to where it's not in the way, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to. So this is explaining this quote again. Again, you do not have to write these arrows. This is just for you to help you understand. So I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain this quote again in one more sentence. Now remember, each box is one sentence. So if you have more than one sentence that you want to write down, you need to pick the best one because you only have one sentence per box. Okay, so I'm going to explain it again. In my second green box, I'm going to say Beowulf will always protect mankind no matter how old he is, and he will not stop fighting until God decides when Beowulf should die. Okay, and then period at the end. Make sure that period's good. Make sure that period up here is good. Okay, so there you go. I've explained it again. Beowulf will always protect mankind no matter how old he is, and he will not stop fighting until God decides when Beowulf should die. So again, both of these green sentences are explaining this quote up here. Okay. Okay. All right, then the last thing that we have to do is this blue sentence down here at the bottom. This is your conclusion sentence. So this is your ending sentence, if you will. So you're going to take this first sentence up the top, your blue, and you're going to rewrite it in a different way. You cannot just copy it over down at the bottom. So the best way to start this is to say in conclusion, and then just restate your topic sentence. So I said, even though Beowulf is 50 years older, he still wants to protect his people and all of mankind. Period. So there you go. In conclusion, even though Beowulf is 50 years older, he still wants to protect his people and all of mankind. So that is just kind of rewording this first blue sentence at the top. Okay? And that's it. Remember, one sentence for each box. So one sentence, one sentence, one sentence, so on. Okay? No more than one sentence. If you have more than one sentence that you want to put on there, then you have to narrow it down to your best. All right, so this is the only thing that you need to turn in is this. Make sure your name's on it. You're going to take your study questions and your answers and staple them together, hole punch them, and put them in your binder. I do not want those. I just want this writing along with my pens. I need those returned as well. If you have any questions or don't understand how to do this or need assistance or need some help, please let me know. I'll be more than glad to go over this with you or sit down and help you write it. When you're done, turn it in, and it's due today. Thank you.